is up, guys? Back with another video. Brand new day. Guess what we're taking today? The 993 Carrera S2S, baby. I got the license plate on it. About to start this thing up and warm it up. What is up, guys? We are back in action and we are in the 993. Let's go. Brand new day. What is new with everybody? Let's get dialed in. So I want to make a video today about living beyond your means. I know it sounds silly and you guys are like, oh, come on, this is boring. This video is gonna suck. No, I'm telling you, it's so important. I was thinking about it last night. I was thinking, man, I was financially free in 2018, 19, financially free. I could have, literally could have probably retired at 36 years old. I had $8,900 a month, something like that, coming in from rental properties, a paid for house, paid for cars. Now, I am not boasting by any means. I'm telling you this to tell you I messed it all up because I went and got fancy Nancy on you. So what I'm saying is, don't go getting fancy Nancy and living beyond your means. We don't currently live beyond our means, but if you don't keep a massive spread between the income you make and the payments that you have to pay, I mean the opposite. If you don't keep a massive spread from the payments you have to pay and the income you make, your life is going to be way harder. If you keep a massive spread between those two numbers, you can grow so quick and get to financial freedom so much faster. And what I'm getting at is, even though I don't live beyond my means, I am not getting to financial freedom as quick as I want to because my spread's too close. So do not live beyond your means, and don't even live near them. Don't even live near them. Live way below them. Way below them. I'm saying this because culture has tricked us. They think, I know I'm sitting here in a 993 saying this, but I'm 40 years old, 20 years of nonstop hard work, working every single day while people are watching Netflix, working every single night, working nonstop. These cars are paid for. So this is not debt. So I'm just saying to you guys, I'm not saying to not have a car you love, but I drove a 2001 Toyota Corolla and I was 36. Then it was a 2007. Then I had a 2011 Highlander. So what I'm getting at is, I wasn't driving 911s until I had the cash. For me personally, I needed to have the $1 million invested, and then anything over top of that, I felt comfortable getting the car. So that was my actual, that's when I decided, all right, I'm getting the car. Originally, when I decided to get the car, was an M5, and I got it because a rental property was paying its payment. So if you guys are ever going out and getting cars, why don't you think twice about it? Instead, invest the money in an asset, an appreciating asset, like a rental property. Let's say you have 100 grand. You're like, I'm gonna go out and buy my brand new M5. Don't do it. Go get a rental property, go buy some SCHD, and take the money from the drip and use that money from the drip to pay the payment on the car, because the car is a depreciating asset. You want your principal money in an appreciating asset, not depreciating asset. But I feel like this 993 is a little different, maybe, I don't know. I got so much damn carbon fiber up in here. Trying to show the carbon fiber, showing myself. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. This thing might go down in value, but they're not making any more of these, so who knows? We'll see. I'm getting way off topic. So today's a brand new day. We all got choices to make. I gotta make some choices with the freaking website, get this thing dialed in. I'm out here giving advice. I should be taking advice. All I'm saying is, if you're younger, because I say this because a lot of the guys, I know a lot of you guys watching are younger, and you're on the fence about going and getting all this fancy stuff because you watch Instagram every day. First off, you're not going to see any of the people that you're comparing yourself to on Instagram. When you're out and about in your area, how often do you see somewhere where you're comparing yourself and you want to look like the way they look on Instagram with a Lamborghini and a watch and a suit on? You already know you're going to look silly walking around with a suit on with your fancy watch. And moms are dropping their kids off at school in pajamas, bro. Come on, let's get serious. We're getting tricked. They're tricking us. You're not supposed to be out here looking like James Bond in an Aston Martin. I mean, maybe you live in New York City. I'm not telling you to not look nice. I'm just saying, get the priorities straight. Start stacking that cash. Forget about the Lambo. Forget about the watch. Forget about looking a certain way. You're going to set yourself up. It's going to be so hard to get ahead because you're going to have so many payments burdening you down. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, those are the core years of my life when I could have been building. These are the years when you're young. You could be living in an apartment with 10 people stacking that cash. Instead, you got your X5M and you're living in a mansion, and you're going to be living in an apartment with 10 people in 5 years. It's like, I'm not saying that, but you get what I'm saying. We gotta stack while we're young, and we gotta divide it up when we're older. The second thing is, stop caring what people think about you. Start caring about yourself and your family and your friends, your close friends and your family, and your own little personal economy. And I'm not saying not to help people. Through our business, we donated like millions of meals to families in need. I've donated probably $100,000 to St. Jude. I'm not saying to not help others, but you can't help others if you're not helping yourself. If you're not getting yourself in a position where you can provide for yourself comfortably, you're not going to be helping others. It's just the matter of fact. It's just the way it works. So I'll tell you a little story about living beyond your means. So when I first met my wife, I was like 19, I think. No, I was like 21 maybe. I was working as a mechanic in Washington, D.C. I lived in Baltimore. I would drive there every single morning. I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I drive like an hour to D.C., and I work from 6 a.m. to 2:30 in the afternoon. The hours are pretty good because you beat the rush hour traffic getting back on 95 going from D.C. back to Baltimore. So I would go to the gym. My wife was here working as a lifeguard. She was a lifeguard at the gym. So I'm working out at the gym. I'm like looking through a window and I'm doing curls, and she's at the pool. And this other guy next to me is looking at her too. And I'm like, oh no, I better say something to her before this guy does. So I went out there and started talking to her or whatever, you know. But what I'm getting at is, when I first met my wife, she was working at Bally's Total Fitness, and she was walking up Route 40 and in the evening, later in the evening, the same day, and working at Giant Food all the way through the night. We ended up moving in together into an apartment. I'm a mechanic, she's working as a lifeguard and at a grocery store as a cashier. And dude, we were living beyond our means. On the weekends, I was taking her out. We were going to downtown, we go to Fells Point, I'd blow $150, overdraft my bank account. We were just paycheck to paycheck, living beyond our means. We were buying food from the dollar store. You know, the kind of cheese that you get like 3 or 4 pieces, but it's really like 45 cents a piece. It was a ripoff, they trick you. And we were living beyond our means. And even back then we were. I was living beyond my means all the way up until I learned how to increase my income. Everybody's kind of living beyond their means. Everybody's paycheck to paycheck because of inflation, and all the prices of everything is so high, and wage inflation hasn't kept up with regular inflation. So everybody feels the squeeze. So the only way you're going to get out of that squeeze is you're going to have to trade your time to get more money in the beginning, in the evenings, on the weekends. But once you can get smart and you can figure out a way to trade your time to increase your money, then you can replace yourself with somebody. Then you can try to increase the ratio. 1 to 1 in the beginning, you're trading your time for money. 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 27 to 1, whatever it is. You know, you get what I'm saying. So the moral of the story is, don't live beyond your means, and it's extremely hard not to live beyond your means. So now, try to figure out a way to increase your income. Whatever you can do, try to figure it out. Check out that old Mercedes. But at the same time, this is not advice for everybody. I'm just throwing this out there for people that, I feel like people that watch the channel are kind of similar into the stuff I'm into, you know, investing and everything. So you do have to earn a lot of income to get to the point where you can get enough money to cover your bills with passive income. I just wanted to make this video because I think a lot of people get step 1 wrong. Step 1 is don't live beyond your means and don't have any debt. And step 1 is completely skewed because of social media and all the stuff going on in our culture and society. And people go out and get all this debt to look a certain way. And then it's like step 1, like, dude, you failed. You failed the first test. You know what I mean? I did. That's what I'm saying. So don't fail the first test. Get step 1 right. If you get step 1 right, all the other steps are 10 times as easy. I mean, 10 times easier than if you fail step 1. Then I'd say step 2 would be stack an emergency fund. So you have some money if something goes down, something happens, you're not dipping into your investments, or you're not putting some money on credit cards. Step one would be pay off your debt and don't get a bunch of debt. Step two would be build an emergency fund. And if you're young, I'd say step three would be create a Roth IRA and max it out. Unless you want to get into real estate investing. Oh, there's one of those flex trailers. I was just talking to the people at the BMX about that. If you want to, I was looking at those flex trailers. You can park it on your, like where if you need to store something, it's like $165 a month. It's not bad. That's for like a 1 or 2 bedroom house. I think it was like 300 and something for a 4 bedroom house. Okay, so if you're young, I would open a Roth IRA unless you want to get into real estate investing. Then you can save your money towards a down payment for a house. I used to have rental properties that I accumulated by saving money from our business and then investing it into properties. So I would get a Roth IRA opened up, then I would try to max it out. Oh, let me slip through here real quick. All right. got a little squirrely there for a second. There's like construction trucks, concrete everywhere with the 993. I mean, if you just follow like Buffett's advice, you know, open up a Roth and just invest in the S&P 500. You can do that through ticker symbols like VOO, Vanguard. You can open a Roth with Fidelity, Merrill Edge. I don't know if Robinhood has Roth IRAs. I'm sure they do. And then keep your emergency fund in a high yield money market account, something that's yielding 3% or more. I know that you can find it on different. Robinhood probably has. I don't use Robinhood, but I'm just saying I know a lot of younger people like Robinhood. But you can open up a traditional brokerage account like Fidelity, Vanguard, Merrill Edge, one of those, you know. With a Roth IRA, you can only put into $7,000 a year. So if you hurry up, if you have 14 grand, you can put 7 in for 2024 and 7 in for, it might be too late for 2024. But the benefit of the Roth IRA is that you put your money in after you paid your taxes on it, but it grows tax-free. So when you withdraw the money, you don't pay taxes on it. That can be powerful because all that growth and all those gains. And here's a little fact about a Roth IRA a lot of people don't know, because a friend of mine said, man, I put a bunch of money in my Roth, now I need the money. Well, you can take out the money you put in without any penalty. So if you guys ever have money in a Roth, I'm not saying to take it out, but I'm saying your principal that you put in, not the gains, you can take out without you're paying your penalty. But if you take out any gains, you're going to pay a penalty if you take it out before you're in retirement age. So the Roth isn't for everybody. If you don't want to have your money until you're retired, you might not want to have the Roth. But if you're not going to have a Roth and you want to invest, you're going to have a taxable account. So a taxable account is just a regular stock account. So for me, I don't have the benefits of the Roth because of my income. So I can do what's called a backdoor Roth. I can open up a traditional IRA. A traditional IRA, when you put the money in, this house was for sale for a long time. I don't know if it's sold. It's on the water. When you open up a traditional IRA, you put the money in and you get a tax write-off. So when you put the money in, you get a deduction from your taxes that year, current real time. But then when you withdraw the money in the future, you pay tax on it. So I can open up a traditional, and then I can transfer it to a Roth. It's called a backdoor Roth IRA. I just don't do it. I should. I just haven't done it. But I have all my money in a taxable account, which isn't good. But I don't really have any options because I have a higher income. And then if you have your own business, especially if you're self-employed, you can open up what's called a SEP. 25% of your taxes, you can deposit 25% of your income, not your distributions, but your payroll income of you personally as the owner or as a business employee. The benefit of that is that the money you deposit in there, you do not have to pay tax on that year.
This is light work. Come on, spill the tea. Yeah. Ooh.